We're the Rubbish Shakespeare Company. I'm Alex.
I'm Lee.
And I'm Glenn.
We started off as a street theatre company, and what our aim was to make Shakespeare accessible for everyone, as there is a stigma around Shakespeare that it is, you have to go to the theatre, it's for a certain class of people, and you have to be of a certain intellect to understand Shakespeare. Of course, this is all rubbish. What we do as the Rubbish Shakespeare Company is we look at Shakespeare from a performance angle. So we'll go into schools and we will perform some text, like a condensed play, and then we'll do a workshop with the pupils, leading up to a pupils-based performance as well.
Shakespeare in language to some children can seem very daunting, especially when you first start learning it in English. The reason why we decided to take our performances and our workshops into schools is because the best way to get kids energised and excited about Shakespeare is obviously from a young age. So basically what we aim to do with children is to make Shakespeare appear more accessible and to defeat the stigma that it's not for them, that it's for people of the upper classes. We want to show that Shakespeare was for all. He wrote for Prince and he wrote for Portland.
What soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east. Juliet is well fit.
I need.
Oh, sorry, I got it wrong.
In our plays we use modern language and Shakespeare's language because we believe that adding the colloquial language, the modern language to the Shakespeare allows children to understand the Shakespeare and get more involved. What we do when we come out of the play and we start doing our workshops, we get them to translate Shakespeare into modern day and then back into Shakespeare so they can understand why they're learning about it and why it's funny and the reasons behind Shakespearean comedy, Shakespearean tragedy, not just that it's rubbish.
At St Augustine's High School, in the English department, we introduced Shakespeare at Key Stage 3 to Year 7 pupils. And the challenge each year is how to introduce a 450-year-old language that's very foreign to young children in a positive way. So what I've done this year is I've contacted the Rubbish Shakespeare Company and asked them to come in right at the start of our scheme of work and introduce, in this case, the Merry Wives of Windsor. They've made a bespoke workshop in consultation with ourselves here to tailor it to our needs and our scheme of work. So the workshops are very active, they're very focused on performance and breaking down the language barriers to Shakespeare that young children perceive there to be. What the Rubbish Shakespeare Company have done is they've broken down that barrier and the children have had an immense amount of fun today.
Well, today our Year 7s have had the Rubbish Shakespeare Company with them all day, and they have had the time of their lives. Great to see children as animated and enthusiastic about Shakespeare as our young ones have been today. It's not the first time that the Rubbish Shakespeare Company have been to St Augustine's, and we're always delighted to see them, and we always feel that by the end of the day the children have had a fantastic exposure to some live performances of Shakespeare and have been able to have a go at acting themselves. They've had a great day, and thank you to the Rubbish Shakespeare Company. The one thing that they're not is rubbish.
It's been well good. We've learned loads of new stuff about Shakespeare and about acting and stuff.
They got us involved in it instead of just doing it in front of us.
They made it easier to understand than normal.
I understand it more because I didn't really understand what Shakespeare was about.
I'd rather come and see these perform it than the proper people.